Hello, my name is Helena Bassil-Morozow, and I'm the Program Leader for MA in Digital Media and Content Creation here at Glasgow Caledonian University. Glasgow Caledonian University is one of the top modern universities in the UK. Here, at the Department of Media and Journalism, we're offering you an exciting opportunity to join our new postgraduate program, MA in Digital Media and Content Creation. The program is a carefully curated combination of practical skills and theoretical knowledge to prepare you for a range of content creation roles. This course has been designed to prepare our students for the surge in jobs in digital media and content creation. It combines the latest research in this field with practical experience of video making, subscription media planning, and podcast creation. You will gain experience of digital project organization and design, as well as learn a range of important skills such as pitching, leadership, teamwork, ethical decision-making, and data analytics. You will study key aspects of the media industries, the changes and platforms that have emerged from digitalization, and how content is created across different media. In addition, the course will provide you with a detailed understanding of the global media landscape. Importantly, the course will give you an understanding of creativity and storytelling within all forms of media. In particular, it will focus on how content creation, narrative and media audiences interact in contemporary media environments. You will learn how stories are constructed across digital media platforms and how multimedia is understood by audiences. This course will prepare you for a range of careers where digital media and content creation skills are increasingly highly valued, and you will benefit from the year-on-year growing market demand. You could be working across a range of sectors such as media and public relations, marketing, communications, television and broadcast, social media, journalism, business and editorial, and writing jobs. In this clip, our videography tutor Joseph shows students how to film professionally on their phone and how to get the best out of it.
If you are interested in getting into content creation beyond this module and this assessment, then you might want to consider thinking about purchasing additional accessories that you could use to go along with filming on a phone. Just the phone being the kind of first port of call if you're interested in making video content, really, especially if it's for social. You can then obviously think about buying a more expensive digital SLR, etc., etc. But let's assume that you wanted to use your own phone. Maybe you've got a decent phone, that you've got a nice camera on it, and you just want to use external, you buy some accessories to go with it. So obviously, I've already on GCU Learn, I've got a list which I'll post at the end of this session today about kit that you might want to think about. But for this assessment, especially if it's just for this assessment, nobody is pressuring you to go out and buy anything, but you can obviously sign out our little tripods, our accessories, and then just use your phone with the accessories. So that's an option. The next option, of course, is that if you're not comfortable using your own phone, just use our phones as well. So you can sign out our phone with your partner and the accessories and all the rest of it. But like I say, if you are interested in content creation beyond this room, thinking about tripods, you know, a lightweight tripod to start with for a phone's perfect. Thinking about, oh, actually, how do I connect? Let me see if I've got my, I don't know what I've done with my, there it is. How do I connect that tripod and my phone together? You'll need something similar to this. You know, there are thousands of other options out there. So you've got what you call a cage. So what I'm going to get you all to do is take your tripods out, put this up like so, and then what you're going to do as well is this cage fastens onto the tripod. So you'll notice you've got a little wheel, this lock here that should be pointing up to the ceiling, and then the other end you've got little holes, and you could just slot the hole and sort of press it into the tripod, and once you've done that, just screw it in using the little grey wheel to secure it. So just so something that will look like this. All right, so that's something that we want to think about today. Is thinking about the tripod, thinking about how we get the phone onto the tripod. And like I say, if you're thinking about getting into content creation, investing in kit like this is a good starting point, really. I think the cage, you could get them for like 20 quid. You could get the tripod for £30. So you can see, compared to buying a digital SLR that costs thousands of pounds, this is a good starting point, especially if you've got a decent phone. So it's the tripod that you're putting that onto. I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. I'll give you a hand as well. So you can put that grip away just now anyway, and I'll take that key. Not yet, not yet. It will be in a sec. Nice. Yeah, it's looking good. So what all you do really is hold on, let me just. This is a bird chirping. Right, so this grip here, this little screw here, you just sort of slot it in to the tripod, and then just using this grey wheel, just use that to twist and tighten it. There you are. Happy with it. That's good. It's looking good. That's perfect. So, yeah, it's just that. So, I'll just pop that in. Hold on. So what we're doing here is we're taking this little gap, this hole here, pressing in like so, and then what you've got is you've got this little wheel that you can just twist to tighten it, essentially. So it's just one option for you, really. So we've got the tripod, we've got the cage, right? And I think already I've seen a few of you have got exactly what we're going to do next. Now, you can use your own phone or you can use the university phone. I think for the purposes of this class, we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. I think we're going to use the phone that's provided. Now, you'll notice that you've got a small bag that says PA on it with a number. Now that PA stands for phone accessories, right? So that's one bag, but you've also got the other bag which has the phone in it. Now the phone should just switch on. It might already be on. And the password, as you remember from last year, is MJ, standing for Media Journalism, MJ iPhone. So hopefully that gets you into the phone, right? So MJ iPhone. Now I'm going to just secure the phone into this cage. Just be aware that you're not pressing the buttons in any way when you secure it. So you sort of place the phone into the center of the cage, and then using that lock, this wheel here at the top, you should just be able to twist and secure that phone like so, all right? And that's it. All right, so I can ask you all to do that with our phones. I should say as well, you get a much nicer angle if the lens is at the well, it should be your sort of top left, but if you're looking at my phone, that's top right. So the lenses should be at the top of this cage as opposed to underneath at the bottom, because it's a nicer eye line really that you get. So just let you deal with that. Okay, so, excuse me, here we go, cut that bit out of the edit. So the next thing I wanted to mention, this year, your assessment, hopefully we've made it pretty clear so far, that you've to film this in landscape, the way that this is set up just now, because in the industry, you might be asked to produce a traditional video for a website, a YouTube video, for example, but you might also be then asked to produce the portrait version as well. Now, I'll explain this a bit better in a second, but you cannot really turn a portrait video, so if it looked something like this, right, you can't really turn a portrait a portrait video, into a landscape shot. It doesn't really work, but you can reproduce a landscape video and then edit it into portrait, and you'll need to take my word on that and I'll be able to explain that visually in a minute. But certainly you might be asked, if you worked for a marketing agency, you might be asked to make something specifically for TikTok or specifically for socials, and therefore you could film it something like that, and as you can see you can flip it out. But just as one last reminder, for this assessment we want you to film it this way, because in real life you'd probably be asked to produce both. You know, you'd be asked to do a video in landscape and in portrait. We're being very nice to you this year and only asking for one edit, which is in portrait. So, and that's a skill within itself, which is quite a new skill to a lot of video. There's actually a lot of videographers out there and content creators that have been in the industry for decades and have shot this way all their lives, and then they've been asked to make videos like this and they hate it. So it's actually a skill that a lot of videographers have had to adapt to in the last couple of years to really work out how you can do that effectively, and most people get it, and especially younger videographers I'm working with that are you know, starting out, they actually would prefer to shoot in portrait actually, so it's quite interesting. Anyway, I digress. So the next thing we want to talk about, remember, is achieving good quality sound. And I don't know who it was, but somebody actually, I've only had one question in the Padlet so far, which I take that to be quite a compliment, that nobody's asking me questions. It's just one question, and that is, do we need to use external microphones for this assessment? And the answer is yes, really. You know, we want you to use external microphones. It just sounds so much better, it's more professional, and it's what you would do in industry. You do get now and again somebody with a phone without a microphone, but it's very, even vloggers that don't really care about content creation for the sake of you know, they're not caring about the technical component, they just care about getting their message out there. But even a vlogger would have a microphone, something similar to what we're about to use in a second. So what I'm going to get you to do is, in the phone accessory kit, you might have a pouch like this, but certainly you should find, if the pouch isn't there, you should find these two squares, right? This is our Rode wireless microphones that we're going to use, and they're just brilliant. They just work, you know. I've not had, well, sometimes they run out of battery, which is, you know, obvious that you need to charge it up, but they just work. And I'll just hold these there for the camera for Craig. But anyway, so the Rode, this is what we're using this year. You've probably seen a lot of content creators, from anyone from like a Joe Wicks to, you know, any kind of vlogger have something similar to this, you know. They might use a DJI version of this, but these are very useful, very helpful. So there's also in the bag somewhere, you might find a windshield as well. So it looks a bit daft, but you've got a little windshield, but we'll put the little fluffy bit to one side for a second. Can I ask you, you'll notice on the Rode box that you've got a plain sort of black shiny box, which is the microphone itself, right? So can I ask you, we could do it with both of them actually, but press and hold that button that's at the bottom, just that one that's underneath on the bottom of that microphone. It's got a big circle. You press and hold, and it should just light up, and it will go. Eventually, it takes a couple of seconds. The two lights, the blue lights, should just appear. If it doesn't work after a couple of seconds, after say 10 seconds, it's probably out of battery. So let's hope that that doesn't happen. It should work. Let's have a look. Oh, let's see. Right. So I'll click and hold. There you go.
Oh, thanks.
No worries. Yeah, that's on. That's already on, so that's good. Right, so this is the microphone, obviously. The other box, I'll just get you to put that to one side for a second, right? Just put the other box to one side. This microphone, it's you know, videographers will use it in so many different ways. You'll have seen, I've got to be careful because I've already got a microphone clipped in, but what I like to do is try and hide this horrible shiny box, because it is a bit ugly really. So what I like to do, and Craig, I hope I'm not disturbing your microphone really, but I like to hide the mic by just sort of clipping it, the shiny bit sort of behind, you know, onto the person's chest or whatever, and then you can just see the little Rode sign there, and that's better than having this big massive box in your face. But if you do have it in the shot, it's not the end of the world for a social media piece, but it would be a bit more ugly if it was for a TV production or a film or that sort of thing. So I'm going to just take this off. Sorry, Craig, I hope that's not too bad. The other way you can use it, of course, you see this in social. I would not like to see it on TV per se, but on social, you just get people holding it like this, which is completely fine as well, okay? The next thing I want to mention though is if you go outside, these do pick up a lot of wind sound because it's what you call an omnidirectional microphone, which means it's picking up 360 degrees, and it's actually not the best for outdoors, right? So what you would want to do is use a windshield, right? And it looks a bit ugly, I'll be honest, but what you've got is you should notice that it's got like sort of two white dots on the windshield itself, and what you're doing is aligning the two white dots with the two black sort of grooves that are on the road box itself. So what I want you to do, and don't worry, if you can't find it, don't stress about it. Some of them already be on there already. What you do is you sort of align the grooves there and just push it in, and then screw it round. It's almost like a screwdriver, a screw, and you're just sort of screwing it in, and it just sort of looks something like this, right? If you're struggling, I'll give you a hand. As I say, it doesn't look the best, but it works. I'll just, do you want me to help with that? Do you want a hand? So I'll just take that. You've got the two sort of, see the white dots there? Yeah. So you sort of try and align them with the two black sort of grooves on this thing. And it is a bit, I struggle with it sometimes, and you're just sort of twisting it. There you go. It's working. It is working. Give me 2 seconds now. Come on. Why is it not working? What have we done with it? That's it now. There you go. Cheers. Right, okay. Where was I? So we've got the microphone working. The other thing I want to mention, I should have probably told you not to screw this on, but so this, if you're outside, this is really important. I was recently filming something at a race car circuit in Lark Hall, and when you were outside, you've got go-karts going in the background, you've got all sorts of things going off, and that windshield made such a difference. I believe it or not, I know it doesn't look like it would, but it does make a big difference. And in actual fact, it wasn't myself, but one of my colleagues, their windshield flew off during an interview, and you could hear a huge difference in the sound quality. So it's definitely worth using for an outdoor interview, for sure. I'm just going to take this off, though, to show you the other thing you can do. In the bag somewhere, there is a little grip, like so, this road grip. And what you can do is just slide the box without the windshield, may I add. You just slide that on like so. Hold on. Just like this. So it looks something like this. And then make sure, again, you'll need to take the windshield off, but then securing this other windshield for the grip, the grip in itself, slot that on, and it looks like a reporter's mic, which is really good for vox popping, etc. And what you can actually do as well, you see this quite a lot, you get branded windshields as well. So instead of having the road branding, you could obviously, if you're a content creator, you could have your own branding that slots on. So it actually works quite well from a branding perspective as well. So you've got these loads of ways that you can use this microphone. And you're probably now thinking, why didn't we use these last year? These are so much better. But anyway, I'm going to take this off now for a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to put this to one side. So that's the microphone. And that's, in terms of mic placement, that's how you would deal with that microphone. But remember, the other box, I always get confused between transmitter and receiver, but I'm going to call it the transmitter. This box with the shiny grey screen, press and hold that circle again to switch it on, and it should, in a minute or two, just light up. So you've got the microphone, which we've just looked at. Now we're actually using the transmitter to get that microphone to work. So that's quite important. So can you switch it on for me? Okay. Now, this box, if it's never been used before, the decibel level, the levels will be a little bit all over the place, right? So if it's been used before, it should say something like minus 15 decibels on it, minus 15 dB. So that'll say that right in the center. That's almost like the volume control. That's how you manipulate the volume to be able to get good quality sound, right? So on the bottom left corner of the screen, you've got, or sorry, of the box, you've got a dB button, right? Decibel button. If you press that repeatedly, you'll notice the decibel level changing and going up, minus 15, minus 12, and so on. You want to leave it, I would say, at minus 15 for starters, just to get it going. But I certainly would be very careful not to have it all the way cranked up to 0 decibels because it's very loud initially. It just sounds a bit too much, really. Normally, you would say in industry you're looking for minus 12 decibels, but you can manipulate it both on the box but also on the camera as well. So this little transmitter or receiver, whatever you want to call it, will slot in to the top right of your cage. Now, if you're looking at mine just now, it'll be on your left-hand side. But I'm just going to take this box, I'm just going to slide it onto the top of the cage. Again, another use for having a cage, certainly for interviews as well. Different if you're running and gunning and you're obviously filming on in a different way, but here we are. Okay, so we'll slot that in. Okay, and now for the footery bit. It's not my favourite thing to demonstrate, but here we go. You've got in your phone accessory bag, you have a little red cable, like so. So if you want to look for that red cable, this is what's going to connect your microphone into the phone, for want of a better way of explaining it. This phone, this little red cable, there's only one slot, one hole that red cable can possibly get into. So let's just connect it into the top and just have that red cable hanging down for just now. So just hangs like so. Okay. The next protocol in your phone accessory kits, there's another adapter. It's just yet another thing. It's an adapter that allows you to connect the microphone, but also your headphones as well. So can I ask you to look for this little connector, this little adapter? Okay. And what I'll do is what you're going to do, you'll notice once you've found this adapter, right, that there's a little microphone icon, and it says number 1 on it. And there's also a channel 2, a number 2 as well. But let's just use number 1. Once you've found that accessory, if you just connect the red wire into number 1, and we'll just let it hang down just for a second. That's looking good, yeah. So that, yep, perfect. And then have you got the little adapter in there as well, hopefully? That's perfect, good. That's it there, yeah, good. Is it? So some of them are a bit, they look like they're hiding. You missing yours? Let's have a look. You got it okay? Yep, that's exactly it there, perfect, excellent. Do you want me to have a look for it? Just might be in that front compartment.
Is it the wee bit you're looking for?
Yeah. Oh, my eyes are just... everything's black in this room, so I can't see anything. Right, it's dark. Right, okay, sorry, everybody. Okay, so you've got your, your setup so far. The next thing, right, keep in mind, this bag has been sort of kitted out for the purposes of you either using our phones or your own phones, right? So you'll notice that you'll have a couple of wires to choose from, and you need to learn which one will work for your phone. So if you're using our phones, it's an older iPhone or an iPhone 12, for example. So you have the lightning cable, like so, on one end of this connector, and on the other end you've got a USB-C connector. So that's the one we're going to use today. But if you plan to use your own phone, this cable might not work for you because you might not have an iPhone, or you might have a newer iPhone, and therefore we've also got in the bag a USB-C to USB-C adapter as well, which would allow you to connect to a more modern iPhone or to an Android phone. But I'm just going to put this to one side. So the one that we're using today is the lightning cable, which will go into the phone, right, like so. And now this is the bit that's not obvious. To me, it wasn't obvious. This connector this USB-C connection will go into the Rode box like so, all right? So this Rode accessory, in other words, the one that allows you to connect your headphones as well. So let's just connect that and let that hang down for a second. We're almost there, to be honest. There's only one more thing to add to this setup. It's not actually as complex as I'm making it out to be. Maybe I'm just dragging this on unnecessarily. So the password to get into the phone, by the way, is MJ iPhone, but we don't need it yet. Right, in your iPhone kits, the ones that we used last year, you'll remember, this is the only way you'll be able to find headphones. So if you want to get the headphones out of that other bag. Now, if you were a vlogger or somebody that was making stuff for YouTube, quite often the person vlogging has no interest in videography. They just want to get their message out there, like I said. So they're not interested in monitoring sound, right? But with a good conscience, we can't really send you out, call yourself a content creator without reminding you how to get good quality sound. And that is to make sure that you're always checking the sound by wearing your headphones, right? So the headphone, as you can imagine, you can see that there's a headphone icon on this accessory that I've asked you to plug in, this adapter. And if you could just plug your headphones into that headphone adapter, okay? Hopefully that is the last wire that I'm going to ask you to look at. I'll be completely honest, these Rode mics are designed not just for phones, but for using on a digital SLR or even one of the camera Craig's using today. And ultimately, we're actually connecting a couple of extra accessories that you might not normally, because in theory, and I shouldn't be telling you this, but in theory, you could connect, and I'm not going to rejig it, but you could connect that box straight into the iPhone without checking the sound, and that would be a much simpler setup. The problem there is, how do you monitor the sound? Now, for a YouTube thing, that might be completely fine. It might be completely fine to not monitor your sound and just some people, what they'll do is they'll do a quick test. They'll hit record and they'll say, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Hit stop, play it back, and they'll say, oh, that worked, so that's great. The problem is, if the sound starts cutting out midway through a really important interview for TV or for a Netflix documentary, how would you know if the sound cuts out without the headphones? So this is why we really preach this and talk about it. So you're going to wear your headphones and so on. All right. Okay, so you keep yours connected. I'm just going to switch this off just now so that I can run through a few bits and pieces with you using the phone. But that should be the setup working.
MA in Digital Media and Content Creation is an exciting course which looks in detail at several media sectors and how they work, and how people can use multimedia to create different meanings across the digital media industries. Apart from varied practical expertise and knowledge of theory, through our varied assessments, you will acquire a range of invaluable soft skills, such as pitching a product, completing a project as part of a group, assessing risks for a practical task, developing resilience and compassion, and understanding how media influences people. We would love to see you on campus at GCU and to share our knowledge of media and content creation with you.